Summit for Women. I'm your host, April Berezay, founder of Women's Empire, and I'm so excited that you have created 3 days to be here with each and every one of us. Buckle up, my friend, because I know that anyone who's in my frame, in my space, gets to deliver value in the fastest ways possible because I am on the go. I've got kids, I've got goals, I've got outcomes to make happen, and so I require value in awesome increments, in a way that I can implement and digest right now. So I know that whenever you are in a position financially where you are experiencing an immense amount of pain, that is the greatest gift that you could possess. There is so much we can do with the soil of pain financially, because what that does is it grows necessity. And necessity is a necessary characteristic of a high performer. When I was, 10 years ago, I had 3 kids in 18 months. My oldest was 18 months and I had a set of twin boys, and my entire world dramatically changed. I spiraled into a big wave of depression, and I had an identity crisis. I didn't know who I was. I have always been a go-getter and a person who can make big things happen, and I couldn't overcome what was happening every single day. I could never get on top of it, and my husband, I never saw. He was always working, trying to pay for just us to get by, and our relationship tanked. My connection to self tanked, and financially, we were choosing to figure out solutions from our current reality and what we had seen modeled to us in the past, and we were choosing to get resourceful. And I remember we woke up really early, and he and I would rotate doing a paper route in the 3:30, 4 a.m. hours of the morning, and it was so painful to get up and have been up all night with kids who need to eat, and twins no less. My body was under immense stress and the pain was intense. And if I could go back and just speak to the woman 9-10 years ago and tell her what I know now, this video is dedicated to her, is dedicated to you. You who are looking at your bank account and you are wondering how you're going to create the next flow of income to buy freaking food. You're trying to figure out how to create a solution to get wipes, diapers, the necessities, the electric bill, the mortgage loan, all of those things that are important for us to feel in flow and keep our integrity of those commitments. And so what do you do? What do you do? For me, I had to realize, number one, and this is what I want you to write down as you're taking notes. Number one, this is the bold, hard truth. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to save you. Let me say that one more time. No one is coming to save you. So in my pain, I got to start taking action in a completely radically new way, because I felt like someone was just going to magically show up and wave their magic wand, and somehow all of the hope that I had would turn into this awesome reward. Somehow my pain would dissipate and go away. But what I didn't know is that pain was going to be the greatest gift that I would ever understand. Because there are pain points of protection in your life. And what happens when the pain gets enough is you are willing to do something different. I have coached in the fitness industry for over 14 years, worked with all kinds of clients. And when the pain becomes enough for them to get off the couch, stop shoving sugar and processed foods in their face, or type 2 diabetes, or some form of metabolic breakdown disease shows up, then they're willing to take action. And the pain point is always interesting for me to notice across the board, because some of you will wait a long time for the pain to get really great before you take action. And some of you will get a whiff of that pain, and it's just enough necessity for you to do something different, to alter your current reality, your frames, your perspectives, and the actions that you're willing to take. And so I want to invite you to be grateful for the pain points that are occurring right now in your life, because if you will let them, they hold the greatest gifts for you in your life. And that's what I got to experience. I got to experience this immense, beautiful gift of pain. And what that pain did for me was provide the skill of resourcefulness. I got to look for all the ways that I could, and quickly, that was my second non-negotiable. What are all the ways that I can get out of this pain, and how fast can I do that? And the first thing I did was hire a coach. I got to hire a coach who could see perspectives that I couldn't see, who had skill sets and mindsets that I didn't possess, and could model to me a powerful possibility. And guess what? With that pain, I was willing to do everything he said, because I wanted out. I wanted out from delivering papers at 4 a.m. I wanted to contribute at a high level. I wanted to lead women all over the globe in strategies of power and impact. And that's what I get to do now. And I get to enjoy 6 figures every year. And my family gets to do things that we only dreamt about because we were willing to take that pain and turn it into production. And so I know the gift of pain can liberate you and possesses the necessary matrix of solutions, because you are the solution you are looking for. That's why no one can save you. You are the solution that you are looking for. So, my friends, when you are willing to really understand that, especially when you find yourself in a circumstance where you get to generate income in a short amount of time, you need to know, number one, that you are the solution that you are looking for, and it's no one else's job to get you out of this pain. You get to take radical accountability for why you are there, and when you do that, the world of possibility opens to you. Okay, I took notes on what I wanted to tell you today. Number 2, you get to have the ability to create power in your life. So when you're in this much pain, you're not always going to want to pay attention to the things that matter most to put you in a position of productivity the fastest. And that's why I want to highlight that for you. Because when your world is crashing down, when the pain becomes so immense and you don't want to get out of bed, and you feel like you're going to pull out your hair and you want to run away and hide, a lot of times the last thing that you want to think about is being powerful. And the last belief that you have in yourself is that you are powerful. But this is actually so critical, and it will eliminate so many unnecessary complexity about your unideal situation, and it will eliminate a lot of the unnecessary stories that you could entertain simultaneously while you're experiencing this threshold of pain. The other thing that happens to your body is cortisol is going to turn on pretty intense during this time. And so your hormone system is going to be transmitting information at a more rapid pace. You're going to find yourself physiologically in fight or flight more often. And so more than ever, when you are in a situation where you need to create income for yourself, the way that you create power is so necessary to liberate your ability to overcome that situation. So I want to tell you very specifically 4 ways with your body that you need to nurture on a daily basis. These are all found in your blueprint, and all of the links to these items are also in your blueprint. So I want you to really actually just keep your eyes on me, write down notes as you need to, but ultimately I want you to listen and watch what I'm talking to you about. You have 4 elements in your body that are necessary to every single cell exchange. And so when these reservoirs get low, your ability to even have power generating in this beautiful vessel that you have is very low. It's honestly like yelling at a car that it should go down the road. You have a steering wheel, you have a gas pedal, you have an engine, you have all the components that you require to make it from point A to point B. And you are yelling at this car that it should be able to go, but guess what? It has no gas. And so when you are navigating the pathway to create power on a daily basis through a painful and stressful situation, you have to infuse very specifically with agents that will literally put gasoline into your body, because the gasoline is already getting turned over and depleted at a faster rate because of what you're experiencing. And so it is so crucial that you take the time to nurture these 4 elements. Number 1, you need electron-rich sodium. So I'm going to show you a little bottle of Soleil. You're going to take 1 tablespoon of Soleil. This is pink Himalayan salt in a serum of alkaline water, and that's what makes what we call Soleil. You're going to take at least 1 tablespoon of Soleil a day. This isn't table salt. This is alkaline electron-rich salt that possesses minerals and electrolytes that will make a big impact on every single cell exchange that happens in your body. And the other companion that goes with Soleil or sodium is potassium. So I use blackstrap molasses. You guys can see my drips here. And I take 1 tablespoon of molasses because it has 600 milligrams of potassium in it, more than a banana, more than an avocado. And you also get agents of calcium and iron in it. Those 2 agents work together. They're like married in your body. So every single cell requires a sodium-potassium ion exchange to communicate and emit a transmission like move your arm. So when these reservoirs get low, you don't have any gas in your tank or in your cells. And it's like very hard for your body to honestly utilize all of the parts it has in an efficient way, okay? Then the next 2 agents I want you to know about are calcium and magnesium. I'm sure you could read a bunch of studies that are out there about magnesium if you want to, but your body, magnesium is responsible for over 500 metabolic processes in your body. And the best way to get magnesium is transdermally. So you need to soak in magnesium 45 minutes a day in the beginning to get your magnesium levels up. And so that's a guideline when you're in a pain point, gotta take action mode. You get to do the best that you can. But honestly, if you have ever had a baby and you've ever had subsequent babies and you haven't fortified your levels of magnesium because foods are depleted in this electrolyte, you need magnesium. Oral magnesium is stripped of its cofactors and its enzymes, and it doesn't allow you to receive the cell saturation amount that you actually require. So soaking in magnesium is going to be so crucial, and magnesium is like the light bulb of your cell. So literally when we're talking about putting gas in your vessel, you are literally offering the body light so it can get transmissions of light and truth transmitting fast. And that's what you need when you're in a crisis situation. Last but not least is calcium. My favorite source of calcium is through chlorella. I like Dr. McCullough's chlorella. You take 5 tablets of these awesome little green guys here, if I can show you, a day. And chlorella has a nice bioavailable source of calcium. And that's what I'm looking for. I want my cell wall to actually be able to receive the calcium in the highest amount. And so chlorella is my go-to. If you can nurture these 4 agents while you're going through a stressful time and requiring your ability to increase to create income, you've got to put gas in your tank. And these to me are not negotiables. It will also remedy your ability to move through the storm waterproof. That's something I am very passionate about as I coach women is I know that you can't avoid the storms. The winds are going to come, the rain is going to come, the floods are going to come, but how you endure the storm is actually up to you. And so when I can fortify your body with at least starting with these 4 agents, amazing things happen inside the vessel, and you can actually come to the conversation of productivity from a place of power. The other thing I want you to know is that I do what's called a daily war. When you are looking to create power on a daily basis, not motivation, that's fleeting, you want to create long-lasting, sustainable power, the fastest way for you to do that is to live commitments. And at this time, when you're in a crisis mode, you need to keep the commitments measurable and realistic. We're not talking about putting a fantasy out for you to make happen so it's not attainable or achievable. You need to create power, so it needs to be realistic. It needs to stretch you but not stress you. And this is what we coach in Women's Empire, in my Women's Empire subscription group. I coach you on the 5 points of power, and I coach you on my system for going to war with yourself to overcome the stories, overcome the sabotage. That's going to turn on whenever you are going to stretch yourself and get uncomfortable and go after something that you've never had before. And the mindset part is crucial. So those are 2 options for you. If, as I hired a coach in my biggest crisis of my life, $89 a month will give you the best return on investment for being able to put yourself in a conversation about power and commitments and making those things come to pass, as well as many other things that we support you with in Women's Empire. But if that's the only thing you did, man, you would have a different reality in just 30 days. So this regiment I have in your blueprint, and I have extensive notes for you, so you'll have access to all of this. And the daily war is not negotiable. How I choose to have commitments in my body, my relationships, my spirituality practices, my identity focus, and the way that I choose to create income, for me that would be business or contributions. I need to be in a conversation with me every single day. These pieces need to be growing. The commitments around those 5 points of power are not negotiable. I must cultivate power by living what I said I was going to do. And this is crucial in a time of crisis. So, number 3, the biggest thing I could tell you when you are choosing to create income for yourself is that you need to know that your ability to solve problems in the marketplace is the most important thing you need to understand. Value in the marketplace is your ability to solve people's problems. And dollars follow value. So as you're going to the drawing board and you're getting very resourceful about what is possible for you, you need to have a conversation about your ability to solve people's problems. So when I was 10 years ago, when I came out of that pain, that was actually 5 years ago. I sat in that pain for about 5 years. And it was intense. And that's how long it took for me to take action. So sister, if you're here from years of pain, I honor and acknowledge that because it's real. And when you are willing to take a step out of hell, it takes a lot of courage. And so I had to be really honest with myself. How do I naturally create value for people? What are all of these gifts and the talents that I possess? This is the frame of identity that we nurture in Women's Empire. What am I good at? What can I do to solve people's problems? How can I become an expert at those things? And how can I get paid for being an expert at those things? And for me, I got to recognize quite a few things about myself that I was good at. But one of those things that I was good at and that I had passion for was training people to release weight. And so I knew that I needed to get in the conversation as fast as possible with everyone that I could find that had that pain point, that wanted to lose weight, that wanted to see things happen or change in their body. And so with the help of my coach, I created programs quickly, and I did them honestly in like 2 weeks or less. Some people think that it takes a long time to put the nuts and bolts together of a business, but it doesn't. You're just creating stories around that it takes a long time, and it actually does not. So I love to challenge myself and put timers on my phone and see how quickly I can bring something to pass with the maximum amount of value. And as a mother, that one tactic actually serves me in so many ways. And I demonstrate to myself over and over that it's completely possible for me to stay out of complexity and stay into simplicity. And I love that energy. I love the energy of simplicity. And so, my friends, I want to invite you to consider a couple tactics. This is what I would do. If I lost it all and I was right back where I was 5 to 10 years ago, this is what I would do now. I would start driving for Uber every single day. Uber is the fastest way for you to get money in your bank account right now. If you don't live near a city that has a high volume of traffic, then drive to a city that does. Like I live in St. George, Utah. It's an okay city to have returns with Uber. So guess where we get to go? Vegas. We get to go to Vegas when we want to create and collect cash. And I actually still do this occasionally because it reminds me of what's required. It keeps me humble. It keeps me fresh, understanding the pain points of my ideal clients. And that's, as a side note, you need to know that whenever you're entering conversations of marketing, and I'm committed to being a master at marketing, so I need to know my dream client. I need to be reminded of what it looks like to be her, because I was her 10 years ago. And so I still drive Uber sometimes just for fun, to remind myself how easy it is to create money, how easy it is to get resourceful, how easy it is to overcome the mindset that I've tried everything. I don't know what else to do. So that's my invitation to you, is to start driving for Uber. And what's awesome is whatever money you collect during that day, you can put it right in your bank account that same day. So if you're like, holy crap, I need to buy the necessities, cool, you can get paid right then and there. Then I would make a schedule with when I'm gonna drive for Uber, and I would create 2 different programs. The first program I would create is at $497. The second program I would create is at $1497. And I'm going to give you some more tactical, linear things in my blueprint here for you to access on how to do that. This is something I coach in our Women's Empire Business Summit heavily. And for me, it was easy to go to the drawing board after I was willing to create power in not only my vessel, but in the conversations I was having with myself every single day with my daily war and my daily commitments. It was easier for me to go to the drawing board and ask myself, how can I create value? What problems can I solve? And how can I get paid to do that? And the very first time I ever shipped a message out into the Facebook world, it's so easy to create money with the freaking device in your hand these days. My very first client at a $1,000 program was all the way in Pennsylvania. So here I was in Utah, and I booked a client all the way in Pennsylvania for $1,000, and I was elated. So if you can do that once, you can do it again, and you can do it again. So my tactic for you is for you to get 3 clients, 3 people sold in some product, service, or program that gives you the ability to solve their problem at $1,497. That would give you $44.91. I wrote all these numbers down. And when I am at my drawing board, I know my metrics. I am looking for the metrics that are going to solve my problem, and then I create strategy around those metrics. So I've got my numbers, $14.97, then I got to create a strategy around what kind of value, product, service, or program that's going to mean. Then I'm going to go out and create a program at $497. And my goal, my outcome is to get 3 at $497. 3 at $14.97 and 3 at $4.97. If I can do that, then I will have generated $5,982. So about $6,000. And on top of that, then I've got my little nest egg happening, whatever I'm generating from Uber and whatever schedule I'm committed to. Remember, the weekends are the time to drive. Friday, Saturday, and Sundays are hot days for you to create income that way. So if you can commit yourself to being available Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, then you're going to work on the strategies to create a product, service, or program around $497 and $1497. You got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That's how I would look at it. And for me, this conversation also means that I offer a lot of communication to my family and loved ones, that right now I am at a space where ruthless dedication is required to get us out of this hole and get our family above the water. We're sinking right now, and I'm not gonna hide that. I'm gonna be radically honest with my family about that, so that they understand, as a mother, when I'm not there to read them a story at night, they can know why. I'm not ignoring them. I'm over here creating a powerful way for us to experience freedom. And as I'm doing my daily war and my daily commitments, you bet I have built-in opportunities to love on my children, to nurture my relationships. But for me, it's about quality versus quantity when I am in a pain point so big that I've got to get ruthless about the way I am operating and what I'm willing to do about that situation. So as you are getting clear with the tactics, and you can scale these ideas upwards and downward. Some of you are going to be like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to collect $500. Cool, start where you are. What's a $50 product that you can create, and how many do you need those to get to your goal? Like, play with the numbers. Be strategic about what's possible for you when you're really clear about what value and problems you can solve. It's easy to come over here and look at the numbers and create tactics around that also are very useful and applicable to you. So the last thing that I wanted to share with you today is that it's so important to turn up the volume at this point. And many of you want to slump down and actually sink in the situation. And I'm going to ask you to do the opposite. I'm going to ask you to turn up the volume in every area of your life. Because if you do, you will get that, what I call the well out in the ocean. When I go hunting, like, I'm going to get myself a buffalo. I'm going to get myself a whale. And I'm going to come home and feed my freaking family. And you won't see me come home until I do it. That's the kind of veracity that I want to ask you to turn up. That you get ruthless, that you're willing to go the lengths, and you see yourself as a person who can make big things happen, especially when you have your family's life on the line, their ability to eat, their ability to have shelter, their ability to experience peace. And even though 30 days might look differently, where you're creating this kind of ruthlessness, what's possible for the rest of their life if you start creating digital products that work for you while you sleep? If you start creating massive value for people and solving their problems, you can enjoy dividends like I did last week when I made $2,000 in a day. If I can do it, you can do it. And I know that there is so much more that I want to share with you. So I want to invite you to consider coming into our Women's Empire subscription. It's $89 a month. It gives you access to me and a couple other powerful Women's Empire coaches who are exactly like you, who have taken the journey from pain to production, from pain to power, and they are using the systems we coach on to truly go at war with themselves and win. And I know that I love telling people, watch me win. And I love the challenge that comes and is harvested from going from pain to power. So click on the button, learn more, join me and many other women across the globe who are sick and tired and saying enough is enough, and they're willing to change everything about the way they see, the way they act, and the choices they make in order to create freedom for their family. Thank you so much for joining me, and enjoy the rest of your trainings.